Good afternoon. I'd like to share some interesting ideas and insights with you. We all believe that God created this world. It didn't get here by itself. The amino acids did not create themselves. God made the Big Bang and He created us. Why? What was the point? Moses gathered the Jewish people together 3,500 years ago. And he says, what does God ask from you? To fear Him, to love Him, to walk in His ways, to keep His commandments. L'tov lach, for your good, for your benefit. So where is the good and the benefit? God could have put us straight into paradise and have constant good forever. There was one thing that was lacking in paradise. It's charity. It's social welfare. We don't deserve it. It's embarrassing. So God said, let me put man in this world where the human being can have a choice and choose good. And by choosing good, he can earn his reward. So therefore, our tradition tells us that human life has two stages. Life in this world and life in the world to come. It doesn't say this world and that world. It says this world and the world to come. Olam haba, the world that will come when we finish life in this world. So the purpose of life is for us to earn our reward by being good. And therefore, God gave us instructions how to be good. How can you buy a computer without instructions? How can you have a human being without instructions? The instructions are the Torah, Hora'ah instructions. And the Torah tells us that every single human being, whether he's a Jew or a non-Jew, is responsible to keep the 7 Noahide laws, 6 of which were given to Adam. And they all boil down to one thing: dignity. To treat the human being with dignity, to treat God with dignity, to treat animals with dignity, and to treat man's property with dignity. And therefore, we cannot kill, we cannot curse God, we cannot steal, and we cannot rob human beings of their dignity. If a human being takes a woman and applies psychological coercion, or even worse, if he rapes her, he is liable of a death penalty because he robbed her of her dignity. And therefore, it is no surprise that we see all the calamities happening. God was silent for so long, He's finally speaking up, so to speak. We've seen so many calamities the last number of years, and it's funny how almost all of them are in a place where the people are corrupt. They were sexually and morally corrupt. New Orleans, we all know what it's known for, suffered a great flood. The country of Bali, Thailand, Sri Lanka, most of us know what goes on there, and they were hit by a severe tsunami, and over 200,000 people were killed. In the last few days, the country of Japan was hit by a tsunami and an earthquake, which we all heard about. Why Japan? Because Japan is morally corrupt, and no one is speaking up enough against this moral corruption. I can't even read this, it's so disgusting. The Illusion Company from Wikipedia. Illusion is a company from Japan, famous for developing 3D EROGE. I don't even want to say the word. It's so disgusting and so gross. And they have a name called RAPELAY, and this is a 3D game, and the whole idea is it's a man who stalks, and RAPES is a mother and her 2 daughters. A mother and her 2 daughters. Very, very nice. Well, how could the Japanese government and how could the Japanese people tolerate this trash means they are not interested in morality. They're not interested in the Noahide laws, and therefore, what do you expect? Maimonides, the famous codifier, the famous physician who lived around 800 years ago, codified the laws that God gave mankind, and he says very clearly that every country must set up a court of law. This is one of the 7 Noahide laws. And if a country or a city does not set up a court of law, if they do not put these people on trial, then they deserve death. Therefore, those people in Japan who could do something and don't deserve death. At the beginning of world history, there was a great deluge, a great flood. And why was the whole world destroyed? Because of immorality. Our rabbis tell us it was immorality. In fact, the Bible says, "Ishchis kol basar darko al haaretz." Everyone was perverted. Even the animals became perverted. It was immoral. Rape was rampant. Stealing and robbing was rampant. No one set up a court of law. No one said a hoot. No one said anything except for Noah. Noah stood for 120 years, and he tried to rebuke the people, and therefore he was saved, and his family was saved in the famous ark that he was asked to build by God, but no one else was saved. Our rabbis point out that whenever there is immorality, chaos comes to the world and kills good and bad. So not only will the bad people get killed, but God forbid the good people can also get killed when there is immorality. And now it's time for the people of Israel to speak up. It's time for the Jewish people to speak up. Because here in our own backyard, Tel Aviv's gay vibe aims to set tourism records. The Ministry of Tourism and the mayor of Tel Aviv have decided that they want to make Tel Aviv a magnet for the world's gay community, and we are totally against this. This is disgusting. Israel is a holy land. They can go somewhere else. Actually, if they come out of the closet, then they deserve death, because there's a very severe prohibition against having this type of relationship. It's one of the Noahide laws, and the nations have come together according to our tradition, and they said they will not write a marriage contract for males. This is going over a red line if this is recognized publicly without public outcry. We must cry out and do something. Every human being in the world is obligated to speak up and to speak to his representatives and senators and governors and say, enough is enough. We don't want to end up like Bali. We don't want to end up like Thailand. We don't want to end up like Japan. It's time to say, stop.